Good morning, folks. Hope you're all well. Well, I've just finished a long night of watching boxing. Been up probably since about midnight. I was sort of flicking between the channels, between the Top Rank show and the DAZN show, and I'll tell you what, that Jesse Ventura, what am I talking about? Pro wrestler. Excuse me, folks. You can tell I haven't fucking had any sleep. Jesse Bam Rodriguez has regained the WBC Super-Flyweight title that he gave up a year or so ago. And he has, well, it was over a year ago. He has knocked out Juan Francisco Estrada in round 7 with a massive body shot. A real perfect left hand to the body that absolutely crippled Estrada. Now, Estrada had been out of the ring for quite a while, over a year. He hadn't fought since the trilogy fight with Chocolatito in December 2022. So going into this fight, I kind of figured, well, Rodriguez has been more active. Obviously, last year he came off that big victory over Sonny Edwards to win the IBF flyweight title. We unified it with his WBO belt. He's obviously moved back up to super flyweight because he was struggling to make weight. And tell you what, if you haven't seen this fight between Bam Rodriguez and Estrada, fucking fantastic fight. You need to go and watch it immediately. Absolutely fucking brilliant. You know, although he'd been out of the ring for a long time and he's 34 years old and a veteran of 50 odd fights, he was he was punching with Rodriguez, a younger man by 10 years, 24-year-old Bam Rodriguez. Now, Bam Rodriguez, I will say, is one of my favourite current fighters. He is a future Hall of Famer, in my opinion. He's fantastic, absolutely fantastic, and a wonderful display of boxing from both guys. And yeah, I thought going into the fight, Rodriguez would probably win this purely because wear and tear on Estrada, and of course, obviously, he's been out of the ring since December 2022. And yeah, Rodriguez he was just a fucking master. I mean, they were both brilliant in this fight. You know, it wasn't one-sided at all. But Rodriguez dropped Estrada with a straight left right down the pipe in round 5. And I thought, oh yeah, this is getting fucking interesting. And then a round later, Estrada battled back and he dropped Rodriguez with a straight right hand. I mean, it was only a flash knockdown. He wasn't hurt. He got up. He was smiling. You know, he wasn't shaken. He wasn't hurt. He was just caught and he went down. I believe it's the first time and only time he's been down in his career as a professional. Anyway, I'll have to check that out. But I'm pretty sure he's not been down before. And then a round later, that fabulous left to the body, Estrada, there was no way he was getting up. The end of round 7, he was gone. He was finished. As soon as that punch landed, he dropped. He was rolling. He was in fucking agony. Rodriguez knew he wasn't getting up. He was strutting his stuff, you know. Yeah, fantastic performance. Real sort of passing the torch kind of moment, I suppose, because although he's not an old man, like I say, he's 34. Estrada's been around a long time. In boxing years, he's an old man, and for the lower weight divisions, he's probably an old man, or getting that way. But he was pretty sharp in there. He had his moments. He was punching with Rodriguez at several points in that fight. Fucking brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, check that fight out if you didn't see it. Absolutely wonderful fight. I believe there's a rematch clause. I hate these unnecessary rematch clauses. It'll be more of the same if and when they fight again. I would imagine I would actually pick Rodriguez to get rid of him earlier this time. But absolutely fucking brilliant performance. Check it out, guys, if you haven't seen it. If you have seen it, yeah, it was an enjoyable fight. Fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And of course the top rank card, Teofimo Lopez took a unanimous decision over Steve Claggett. I wasn't very impressed. I mean, don't get me wrong, Teofimo won it. You know, he defended his WBO light welterweight title. You know, he won most of the rounds. I mean, I think the scoring was a bit wide. I gave Claggett some of the early rounds because he knew this is his only chance. He'll probably never ever get a world title shot ever again. So he was trying to make an impression and make a fast start with him, with Lopez. And I was just kind of unimpressed with him, really. I don't know. There's something about Teofimo Lopez that I'm just never that impressed with him. I don't know what it is. I mean, he was brilliant last year when he won the title from Josh Taylor. That was a fantastic performance, and he is a good fighter. He's a fantastic fighter. He's only lost that one loss to Kambosos, which in hindsight is quite amazing, really. Kambosos beat him. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. He's a fantastic fighter, but I don't know. His last two performances, I've just been very underwhelmed by him. You know, I don't get it. He was talking about moving up to welterweight and potentially fighting the likes of Crawford and people like that. It's like, mate, I don't know if that's a good idea, but we'll have to see. But yeah, although he won and it was, you know, he did more than enough to win, I just felt it was just something lacking. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. I was just very, very unimpressed with him. But hey ho, you can't please everybody, can you? I mean, you know, probably the fight of the night for me on the top rank card was the Nico Ali Walsh. He got his revenge over his only loss, Sona Akali, and that was a good fight. The crowd didn't like the result. They booed quite heavily when Ali Walsh was announced as the winner. I feel a bit sorry for Nico Ali Walsh because he's got a lot of pressure on him, a lot of weight on him, because obviously his grandfather was the great Muhammad Ali. How can you follow in those footsteps? You can't. You know, and there's a lot of people, including Teofimo Lopez in the media recently, basically saying the only reason Ali Walsh is involved in boxing is because he's money grabbing and living off his grandfather's name, which I think is probably a bit unfair. There's probably some truth to it. I'm not saying he's not doing that. You'd be stupid not to. You know, if your grandfather was the greatest, you know, you'd be stupid not to go for it. But yeah, I feel a bit sorry for him. I had it very, very close. I just had Nico Ali Walsh nicking it, so I didn't have a problem with him winning the fight. It was the knockdown he scored earlier on and the fact that he finished the fight with basically a dislocated left shoulder, what appeared to be a dislocated left shoulder. You know, and he took some punishment in the 5th and 6th rounds as well. You know, he was taking some fucking shots in there, and he stood up. He didn't quit, and I think he did enough early on to win. Obviously, Akali was very pissed off that he didn't get the decision. Oh, I totally understand that. It's understandable. It's a close fight. I wouldn't mind seeing the rematch, the third fight, get it done, get it out of the way, and then he can move on with his career. But yeah, I do think he gets a lot of unnecessary stick. Like I say, the crowd were giving him some shit, and you could see he was annoyed. He was annoyed, as anybody would be. You're trying to speak. He was being interviewed. He was trying to speak, and the crowd were just shitting on him. And I thought that was very, very, very unfair. But you know, that's boxing, and you know, maybe if it had gone the other way, I wouldn't have minded. But I personally scored it just to Nico Ali Walsh. So those are my thoughts for what they're worth. Whether you agree with me or not, they're just my opinions. I'd love to hear what your opinions are. Take care, folks, and I'll speak to you next week.